We'll look at lesson 2.5, Inequalities. Here's a short introduction to it. So again, a lot of reading on this page, but I'll talk us through this here. And so the next thing is we're going to solve inequalities, but before that, we need to just do a quick review or quick reminder of what inequalities are. And so what we see here is we have a new symbol here, these new symbols that describe something where it's not equal to, or it's some range of values, where something is greater than, less than, in between, where we're looking for more than one value. Inequalities can be used to represent a set of values, and that's important in this process here, looking at that right there. And then we have a language we do for that. So for example, your employer wants to pay benefits for anyone who works 20 or more hours. So you could use a symbol like this. H is greater than or equal to 20, meaning the number of hours has to be bigger than or equal to 20. You could also draw a picture of this, and that's what our number line looks like, or our graph of inequality. And the graphs are important that you can see the answer. I see it's from 20 and above. Notice the little circled in circle, the filled in circle, which means 20 is part of the answer there. Versus, and then in that picture you can see all the hours greater than or equal to 20. You can see it, and that's important. Here's another set of situations. Let's suppose you get a tax credit for anyone making from 25,000 to 45,000. Here is the symbols you would use. Notice the less than or equal to sign. Notice that we write the inequalities from small numbers to big numbers. And again, you can see this picture here. Now, sometimes we use open circles on the number line. That's if we don't have the equal part, if it's just less than. We don't want to include the number. Something like this, all the numbers from 2 to 7. Notice from small to big. This is incorrect, so that's all we're showing you. That's not correct. That's not a correct notation here. Incorrect notation there. So be careful what we're doing. You probably can understand it, but it's still the incorrect notation. And so another way that we write inequalities, there's another form we write, and sometimes we use this in statistics more, is what we call interval notation. So that becomes another way of doing this. It's just another way of writing. If I want all the numbers between 2 and 7, you can also write it this way. This is an equivalent way of writing it. Which one's better? It doesn't matter. It's just that you need to know it's the same way. It's the same set of numbers I'm thinking about. It's just a different way to do that. And again, the parentheses indicate do not include, right? It's one of these, a less than a symbol without the equals. And these are just examples of the three notations. So you want to be familiar with that, especially again, as we go into statistics. We use all of these notations, but interval notation comes up most often in statistics. So from 0 to 3, this means from 0 to 3, this means from 0 to 3, but do not include the zeros. Notice again, there are no equal signs here. There's no symbol. What I mean this, the less than or equal to, or if I say greater than or equal to, they're not there, right? So that's why, versus this one here. And then use the little bracket. There's our language for this one here. Use brackets if you want to include it, meaning that I'm thinking of that number, include it. And then there's these situations where you have infinity symbols. I want all the numbers bigger than 1. So I want all the numbers bigger than 1. Notice the arrow goes on, so we use the positive infinity. I want every number, we would say negative infinity to positive infinity. That's another kind of technical way of saying I want all the numbers. I'm thinking of all the numbers from negative infinity to positive infinity. There's nothing in between, meaning there's no gaps. We want all the numbers, and that's the way you would show that. And then you can look at some other examples here, how we would want, and there's some language. Okay, so think about those symbols. Again, you'll practice that on your prep work, your online work here. And then again, you can see the notations there. Okay, so that's our introduction. We'll take a look at the next piece.